Hey guys, this is Isaac from Contender Bicycles, and today we're doing a little tutorial on how to get your saddle height set up ideal for you. Now, the first thing we're going to learn how to do is how to calculate your saddle height. To calculate saddle height, we're going to need to know your inseam, but this is not the same thing as just the inseam that is on your pants. We are looking for a more accurate measurement that's fully the length of your leg all the way from the ground up. The easiest way to do this is what we call the book method. You're going to take a book, go up against a wall, clamp it between your thighs, and then walk up to the wall, and then mark exactly where that book is when it's at the top of your leg. So that way you can get a full measurement from the bottom of your foot all the way up. Make sure you do this not wearing shoes, as this is going to give you the most accurate measurement. After you have that mark on the wall or wherever you measure it against, you can measure from that mark to the ground to get your exact inseam. Take this measurement in centimeters and multiply it by 0.883, and that's going to give you your saddle height from bottom bracket to top of saddle. Now that you have your saddle height using the 0.883 calculation, like we told you, you're going to be measuring from the bottom bracket exactly to the top of the saddle. In centimeters, you're going to want to use a measuring tape and then calculate exactly from the center of the bottom bracket to the top of the saddle, and that is going to be your saddle height there. Now, this is going to be the place where most people are going to leave their saddle, but there actually is a little bit of room for personal preference to go higher or lower. There is a little bit of upsides and downsides to both sides. The starting point, if you can raise your saddle up, you're going to have a little bit more leverage, and you're also going to be able to produce a little bit more power. This is also going to be a thing for runners. If you have a running background, you have a tendency to dip your ankle down more, so you're more riding on the tips of your shoe. And if you're doing that, then you may want to raise your saddle a little bit up. People with a running background can tend to do that. The issue goes is if you raise your saddle too high for personal preference, you can start to have IT bend issues, because as your leg overextends itself on the downstroke, your IT band will slip over the tip of your kneecap and eventually can cause pain in the future. And also, higher saddle height is usually going to cause more stress on the joints in general. You can also do this thing where your saddle height, if it's too high, when you sit on your saddle, your hips are going to rock back and forth on the saddle every pedal stroke, and that can also cause issues. Now, on the flip side, if you want to go lower on your saddle height, there's room to play with there. It's usually a little bit easier, and you usually have a little bit more room to go lower than you do higher away from this calculation. If you're going lower on your saddle height, the benefits are going to be, number one, aerodynamics. If you're a little bit lower on the bike and your knees and your legs overall are just less out of the wind, that's technically going to be more aerodynamic. Now, if that doesn't really matter to you, the other benefits of going lower on a saddle height is going to be bike handling. Your physical center of gravity on the bike is going to be lower, which can increase your ability to bike handle in things like corners and things like that. The downside of a lower saddle height is going to be if you go too low, you're going to start overworking your hamstrings, and in general, you're not going to produce as much power. In general, you probably wouldn't want to go any more than a centimeter and a half lower than what this recommendation from the calculation is going to give you. Same thing, you probably don't want to go more than a centimeter higher than what this recommendation is going to give you either. If you have any more questions on saddle fit, or you need anything else, or you want some help fitting your saddle, feel free to stop on by in store in our Salt Lake or Park City locations, or shoot us an email at info@contenderbicycles.com.